I understood you to say that in answer to Senator Dublin's question, the spending reductions, reducing the federal budget would increase anti-Semitism. Isn't that what you said?
No, I did not. I said that the constant threats to cut money to the Office for Civil Rights and the Department of Education prevents the federal government from adequately investigating anti-Semitism and other hate crimes on college campuses.
So you think one way to stop anti-Semitism is to give people more money? Is that right?
I think one of the ways is to actually fund people that are actually designed to investigate anti-Semitism on college campuses.
What's there to investigate? We see it.
We see
We
it,
saw
but
it. Did you watch television? Did you see what happened at Columbia?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, it was clear to me that the administration at Columbia and most members of the faculty believe passionately in diversity, equity, inclusion, and the right to hurt Jews. That's what I saw. Isn't that what you saw?
Welcome back to America Wake. I'm Wilson. If that opening clip didn't get your attention, nothing will. What stood out to me right away was that Senator John Kennedy wasn't interested in talking around the issue. He kept bringing the conversation back to something millions of Americans have watched unfold over the past year: the rise of antisemitism on college campuses and the apparent failure of some university leaders to confront it directly. Whether you agree with Kennedy on everything or not, he was asking questions many Americans are already asking. Why has antisemitism become so visible on some campuses? Why do some institutions seem hesitant to call it what it is? And why does the conversation so often shift away from the incidents themselves? That's what this hearing was really about. Before we dive in, make sure to like the video, subscribe to America Wake, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Now let's get into it.
Society perspective. How do we do this as a society to actually eradicate anti-Semitism? And I think that is the larger question rather than isolated on the FBI.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Senator Kennedy.
Thank you all for being here. Ms. Solomon, I want to be sure I understand your testimony. Did I understand you to testify that anti-Semitism is worse under the Trump administration?
Senator, thank you for your question.
You don't have to thank me. Okay. Your best thanks is to answer.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you that anti-Semitism has been rising, especially since the 2017
but has the Trump
Charlottesville
administration
attack.
caused that? Is that your testimony?
I wouldn't say the Trump administration has caused anti-Semitism. Has there been an increase since Trump has entered office? Yes.
Do you see a causal connection there?
Yes.
Why?
Trump has highlighted and platformed neo-Nazis and white supremacists.
Okay. Mr. I can't see that far.
Racklin.
Mr. Racklin, I understood you to say that in answer to Senator Dublin's question, the spending reductions, reducing the federal budget would increase anti-Semitism. Isn't that what you said?
No, I did not. I said that the constant threats to cut money to the Office for Civil Rights and the Department of Education prevents the federal government from adequately investigating anti-Semitism and other hate crimes on college campuses.
So you think one way to stop anti-Semitism is to give people more money? Is that right?
I think one of the ways is to actually fund people that are actually designed to investigate anti-Semitism on college campuses.
What's there to investigate? We see it.
We see
We
it,
saw
but
it. Did you watch television? Did you see what happened at Columbia?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, it was clear to me that the administration at Columbia and most members of the faculty believe passionately in diversity, equity, inclusion, and the right to hurt Jews. That's what I saw. Isn't that what you saw?
I saw.
Isn't that what you saw?
I saw protesters against the war in Gaza and them using some anti-Semitic slogans and thoughts. I would say, however, that it's hard. I would say,
isn't that
however,
what you're telling me? That's not what you saw. Now, don't get off the subject on me now. You're telling me that's not what you saw.
I'm telling you that it is difficult for the federal government to adequately address the issue of anti-Semitism.
Are you telling me the Columbia administration and the faculty was supportive of the Jewish community?
I think that they are trying to
You need to
find
stop dipping into your ketamine stash.
Into what? Excuse me?
Now, that if we're going to solve this problem, we need to talk about it.
I'm
And
happy
it
to
wasn't
talk
just
about
at Columbia. It was at Berkeley. It was at UCLA. It was at Barnard. And Columbia has a history of discriminating against the Jewish people. They used to refuse to let Jewish students come to their university. Now, you can try to bubble wrap this, but that's what I saw. If you want to stop a lot of the anti-Semitism, maybe we need to stop teaching kids to be anti-Semitic.
Sir, I would relish that opportunity.
Let me ask you a question, Ms. Kohab. Did I say that right?
Kohav.
Do you think it's possible to feel compassion for the Palestinian people without hating Jews?
Absolutely.
Would you elaborate on that? Because it looks to me like many of our Ivy League universities, it's not they weren't the only ones. Some universities handled it well. Vanderbilt, University of Chicago, Tulane. But it looks like the administration was teaching kids you got to pick a side. Mm-hmm. You either have to hate Jews or you have to be for Hamas. You can't be. There's no middle ground. Tell me what you saw. You've written a book about it. Maybe Mr. Rockland ought to read it.
Just because we are testifying, I wrote a chapter in the anthology Young Zionist Voices about what's happening on college campuses, and my book is coming soon, so look out for that.
Good plug, but
So let me answer your question.
Can you feel compassion for the Palestinian people and not hate Jews?
Absolutely. I think that what I've seen on college campuses is a pushing of a Marxist framing of the way that you see the world. And this is not only in liberal studies departments. I've taken dance classes, I've taken creative writing classes, where your final project is literally called The Political is Personal. And what they're teaching you on college campuses is that the political is personal and that everything should be personalized. And there's a global north, a global south, a global right, and a global wrong. And the issue with college campuses and what's happening right now in the United States is that we're allowing ideology to drive violence. A society that says that you can commit violent acts based on your ideology because your ideology is correct is a society that's eroding, and that's what I see on college campuses. Now, you asked if I could feel Palestinian peoplehood, right? If I could feel compassion for the Palestinian people. Absolutely. And every night when I go to bed, yes, I pray for the Jewish people, but I also pray for the Palestinian people, for God to send them leaders that actually care more about their safety. Leaders that put their people's safety in order to propel an ideology at risk aren't leaders. If you look at Hamas, they tout what happened after October 7th up until this day as a victory. How can you lie in rubble after thousands of your people have died and call that a victory? So what I see that has to happen on college campuses is de-radicalization. Until you admit that there's a radical ideology happening on a college campus, you cannot fight it. You cannot fight it.
Senator Arano, hey, I know there's a lot of strong feelings in here. We all have them, but each member only has 5 minutes, and it just takes time away from their 5 minutes if you really want to get all these facts out. Ms. Arano.
After watching the full exchange, I think Senator John Kennedy made the strongest impression because he focused on what people have actually seen rather than getting lost in political talking points. One of the first major moments came when Kennedy challenged the claim that rising antisemitism is tied to Donald Trump. Regardless of where you stand politically, Kennedy's point seemed simple. If antisemitism is happening right now on college campuses, shouldn't the focus be on addressing it directly? That brings us to Columbia and the other universities mentioned during the hearing. For months, Americans have watched footage of Jewish students reporting harassment, intimidation, and hostility. These incidents weren't hidden. They were public, widely reported, and impossible to ignore. Kennedy's frustration seemed to come from the fact that so many people are still debating how to describe the problem instead of confronting it. Another interesting moment was the discussion about funding and investigations. Investigations matter, but Kennedy appeared to be making a broader point. No amount of funding can replace leadership and common sense. If administrators can't recognize antisemitism when it's happening in front of them, the deeper problem isn't a lack of resources. The strongest part of the hearing, in my opinion, came when Kennedy asked whether it's possible to care about Palestinians without hating Jews. The answer is obviously yes. And to Joe Govey's credit, that was exactly the answer given. Most Americans understand that supporting innocent Palestinians and supporting innocent Israelis are not opposing positions. You can reject terrorism, reject antisemitism, and still have compassion for people caught in a conflict. Where the discussion became more serious was the concern about ideology on college campuses. When political beliefs become so rigid that people start excusing hostility toward others, that's a problem regardless of which side is doing it. What Kennedy kept pushing for was accountability. Who allowed these situations to happen? Why weren't they stopped? And why are some institutions struggling to give clear answers? Those are reasonable questions. In the end, I think Kennedy's message resonated because it focused on a basic principle. Antisemitism should be condemned consistently, no matter where it comes from or who is responsible. That's why this hearing struck a chord with so many people. But that's my take. What do you think? Was Senator Kennedy asking the right questions, or do you think the witnesses made stronger points than they were given credit for? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. This is America Wake. I'm Wilson, and I'll see you in the next one.